episode 2 of hashtag Comedy Ain't Easy. Comedy show about comedy, Dayton, what's going on around town. I'm bringing in guests from here and afar, whoever I can get. This week, we've got my guest host coming back again, Mr. Brock Shank.
Hello.
It's like we're waiting on the applause. I forgot we didn't.
I know I made it weird.
I know you looked at me with them blue eyes, and I just kind of melted.
I know.
And then our host we brought in, he's making a big name for himself. He does stand-up. He writes movies. He directs movies. He's a greeter at Walmart. He flat out does it all, Mr. Ranson Karr.
All right, thank you.
And
see, it's weird because
and my podcast partner.
And podcast partner. We'll get into all that.
I prefer podcast leader.
Podcast general.
You just spit on my arm. You feel it come out of your mouth?
I did.
That was a lot.
I thought maybe you wouldn't bring that up.
It was a lot.
We're gonna get into all that, but right now we'll let Brock start it out. What's been going on new for you since last month, I guess?
Since last month, well, I have finished shooting Corey Mintz's movie, Find Eddie, which is, it's
beautiful.
Movie. It's the Dayton-based gangster movie, and we've finally found an editing team that's going to work with us. This guy is super great. We'll have to have him on the show sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
And show some of his stuff. He's a really great guy. We're going to get that together, start editing, start doing some reshooting, then hopefully have that ready for some film festivals in the fall, early winter, we hope.
Nice. You got any stand-up shows coming up or any?
I've kind of put everything on hold to get this finished.
Get that done.
I want to make sure this is done because the bad thing about shooting a movie with a bunch of comics, as you know, is a lot of them travel. You can't get them all in one room. So you're shooting the scene with this guy. He's not even actually there. It's another month, and so we just gotta coordinate that. So I'm gonna leave myself open as I can.
Okay.
I'll be doing some pickup stuff here around town, things like that.
Okay, for those that don't know, they maybe didn't see the last show. Tell us about Finding Eddie, the movie. And
Find Eddie, yeah, it's a gangster film, but it's a comedy, kind of like Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's crime, but it's comedy too. So it's violence if you like violence, and if you like comedy, it's comedy. It's everything. So it's a really good film. Basically, there's a crime boss in town that runs everything. He's got his thumb on quite a few different people. There's a person missing, which is his stepson Eddie, and then he's got to find out where's he at, and was it you? Who's responsible for this?
Going around looking for who's who.
And everyone's nervous and freaking out, and all kinds of problems happen when you got a bunch of stupid gangsters.
Comedians.
That are comedians trying to prove that it wasn't them. It wasn't me.
Right. Okay, now, as far as that, are you still, now, tell us about, I know the funding thing to get that finished, so you're all set and...
Not 100%. We are still raising funds. We're still shy of our goal, but that's okay because we've got all summer to work through this. Basically, the more money you have to enter it into film festivals, the more you can enter, the more chance you have of being noticed.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of different categories. So what might not be this festival's cup of tea is right up this guy's alley, but maybe they've already got enough chosen. Well, you need to find a bunch of categories that you kind of fit into that'll want to debut your film, and then the more you're in and you get accepted to, the more chance you have of getting recognized by somebody famous and...
Right, hopefully get it seen.
Yeah, get somebody that wants to work with you.
And that's
some
how
of
it
those
goes.
festivals get pricey too, depending on which kind of
entry fees. Entry fees can be.
And there's no guarantee, so he needs.
Right, you just pay like
you're
money.
just like, here's 100. Yeah. Here's 100.
And that doesn't mean anything.
Kissing them goodbye, like it's not happening.
Yeah, because they cannot show it, they could.
They can say, well, this one's not for us.
And we watched it. No, thank you.
Right, thanks for your money.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you're doing movies and everything. Well, first of all, this is Ranson Karr, Vincent. Do you like the Vincent part or?
It's named after both grandfathers. So,
okay.
Ranson and Vincent.
Ranson
was one. Ranson was one.
RV. We'll call him RV.
RV King.
RV King.
Yeah.
RV King.
RV was when I was a little fatter, but I've lost a little bit of weight, so we're gonna go just Ranson's fine.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you been?
I started doing stand-up, like, I believe it was 2010. I fell in love with it. I did it in a garage for the first time. My dad always told me I should do comedy.
Whose garage? Like your parents?
No. So my dad always said you should do comedy in high school, and I was like, I don't have the courage to get on stage. There's no way I can do it. And then as I got a little older, I had a son, and I knew then, I was like, I want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. So I tried writing a little bit, and I had a friend of mine that kind of pushed me and said, if you do a show, I'll build you a website. And I was like, well, I mean, that's a pretty fair deal. And like at the time, I'm like, man, you got a website, you're a big deal. You know, like that means I'm famous, kind of. And so my sister said, well, why don't you do it in my garage? She had a really big garage, and she's like, invite as many people as you want. We'll have like a big party. Everybody can drink and hang out.
You got me on the technicality. I said, your mom and dad's garage? You're like, no, nothing like that. My sister's garage.
Yeah, it's way different, Brock.
Right.
Way different.
Please continue. Story a little. This is the loudest noise in a comedy club.
And you're right on
Story's a little slow.
That's what he does that to me on the podcast. So, and he'll put it right by the mic. He'll shake it up.
Ice in the cup. Sorry, I had to.
He's a good friend.
You treat them bad when they're good friends.
So my main goal always was to do movies or something in film. I've always had that dream. I've always wanted to do it with my friends. Like I actually was telling him earlier today that watching Adam Sandler use the same people all the time. A lot of people are like, I don't know why he does that. And he said in interviews, it's his friends. Yeah. Like he loves making films with his friends, and that's always been my goal. And I think the easiest way for me to get into that was stand up. And then I've made new friendships that are unbelievable, like Brock and like yourself. Right. That I think they're growing. I think we're going to do some really exciting things in the time to come. You know, so.
That's great. Now, what's your first project, or do you?
As far as film-wise?
Yeah, what was your first?
Well, I started doing.
Camera, was it like back? I'm 53 years old, so you know, my and yours, back in the day, we would like go over to like the Dayton Art Institute and do a karate with one camera. You know what I mean?
And film. Actual film.
Right. Yeah. So it wasn't all like it is.
Wasteful.
Yeah, it was like it is now.
Snip that out.
So you really could. Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, you know what's funny is the first night I did comedy in a comedy club was Wiley's, and I met Travis Clyburn there, and I found him funny, and I went up to him after the show and said, hey, I'm doing this show in Cincinnati Saturday. Do you want to go with me? And by a stroke of luck, he said, yeah. And so on the way there, I said, look, I got these ideas. I'd love to do like a sketch show, kind of like Chappelle or Saturday Night Live. And I said, but I don't know how to edit. And he like looked at me. It's the weirdest thing. And he goes, I went to school for editing. And I was like, really? Like this is like a match made in heaven right now. So literally like the next week, me, him, and Jeremy Johnson I went to high school with. And we got together and we filmed the first sketch we ever filmed. And of all my friends, it's still their favorite one was Bad Interviews. And it was a series of job interviews. And we were just like crazy. Like, you know, like I remember I started threatening the guy. Like he said, what would you do? Jeremy Johnson asked me, and I'm interviewing for a job. He said, what would you do if somebody accused you of something while you're at work? And I said, who said it? Who said it? You tell me right now, and I'll destroy their face.
Right.
And he was like, nobody said it. I'm asking. And I said, no, you need to tell me now. And I stood up yelling at him.
Boss, I'm ready to throw down.
Yeah. And I said, and then he goes, and then as I sit back down, I say, I'd handle it very discreetly, out of work. And he is like, all right, thanks for coming in. You know, and it's like a series it's a series of interviews like that.
I know where the property lines are, don't worry.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. HR won't be involved. But that was the first one we did. And then we did a ton of videos that's on YouTube under CryForHelpProductions. And then
I have to say that again toward the end, so people can check out the YouTube site.
And then
I can tell you guys are having fun on that too.
Oh yeah, that's
why Adam Sandler uses his friends. If you're going to be making a movie like away from your home for 3 months, you want to be with people you like.
Oh yeah.
It's so horrible to make a movie with people you didn't really care for. And that's why they got trailers. Like, you go sit over there, you go sit over there. You can hate each other.
That's right, yeah.
But when we pay you, you got to pretend.
Yeah, you got to act like you like each other.
We don't have trailers. We got lawn chairs.
Yeah.
You sit there and you sit there and catch up. Talk.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
For us, it got to the point where it's harder to get together. Guys are doing shows. Travis ended up moving. So then I kind of was like, all right, either I quit doing this or I kind of do my own thing and develop friendships with other comics, stuff like that, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I have my own YouTube channel, which is Ranson Karr. Pretty simple to find. Just my
Ranson
name.
Karr.
How do you
Just
spell your
Ranson
last
Karr.
name?
K-A-R-R. Yeah,
Okay,
good call.
K-A-R-R. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. I think you might still be in my phone wrong.
Probably. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. As long as the fans get it right. That's
Right.
But on there, I did one show. There was a script I wrote, and I filmed like one or two episodes, and Del Blumquist is in it, and it was called "Can't Find My Way Home." And it was the first time I ever wrote like a TV show that could be filmed, like a whole TV show, and I wanted to like film it and sell it. And of course, it was terrible quality, a couple funny parts, but pretty boring overall.
Right.
But it was the learning curve of it.
Yeah.
It's about a rocker that was like just a real cancer. Just nobody wanted to be around him. He was so big in his own head that his band actually went on tour without him, and he was just a guitarist. And so he had to come back to Dayton and like rekindle friendships from like his high school band. And like while he's doing it, he's a drunk, and like one of the scenes is he goes and falls asleep in his former rocker's bed. And when the rocker comes in there, he's like, "What are you doing?" And he looks down, and his pants are soaked. And he's like, "Well, I guess you have my bed then." And he like walks out, you know, like. And so it was like kind of like him like making his comeback. And I filmed one or two episodes of that, and nothing ever happened with it. Eventually, maybe I'll come back and do something with it, but. When I did that, like a lot of people would come up to me at Wiley's that were comics and be like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm intrigued." And that to me, that was like the biggest compliment, because then I was like, all right, I got something. I just need to make it better.
Yeah.
You know?
People that are funny enough to be on stage said, "Okay, we got something here.
Yeah.
Well, let's check it out."
That's
Because
right.
I'm sure I've never written anything, but just like writing comedy, some things can seem awesome on the page. You're like, "Oh, this is gonna kill."
And then
And you say it, and then nobody laughs. I'm like, they must have misunderstood. I'll do it again tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
They say the
What?
audience is always wrong. Comics are always right. Whatever joke.
That's right,
They don't-
yeah.
It's
I like
their
that.
fault. It's not yours.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or
I
if
like
comics
that.
are howling with laughter, then you might have
Right.
something.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
if
but
nobody's
some of
laughing, you're like, "Oh boy." That's-
Some of them can be ruthless, though, sitting back in that corner doing that
Laughing
like a
at.
mic.
And you can tell the
Right,
difference. You're like,
heckling
"Oh,
you."
they're laughing
You're
at
like,
me.
yeah.
That's a bad feeling.
You're,
right there.
you're
Yeah,
sweating and you look at
they're
your watch, you
laughing at
still
it.
got 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Because
up
they
there.
know all your weaknesses. It's like
And
having a family member mess with you. They know you.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna be nice.
Right.
Your
That's right.
friends are in the back of a comedy show. They're gonna hammer you harder.
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah.
make you.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna make you know it.
Yep. They make you earn it. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I did my first headline spot at an open mic, but it was 25 minutes. So I'm already sweating, and it's only been 5, and I'm not getting anything.
You get that red clock going in slow
And I'm,
motion.
oh, yeah, man, and I'm sitting up there trying everything, all my jokes, and I'm going through, and I set my phone down to time it off. So I'm like, all right, I know it's the least been, and I looked down and it was like 9 minutes.
Oh, isn't that the worst?
And then I went into just
You guys wanna hear
serious
'em again?
panic mode, man. I was forgetting lines, forgetting tags, forgetting my bits, and just standing there frozen
There's
in
nothing
my
like
head,
stage flop sweat.
trying to
Yeah.
think of this song, and these people are staring at me like, please be done with it.
That's rough. That's
Yeah,
rough.
that's a rough outing.
But I did
mean, you
25, and I didn't go off, and
Yeah, the one nice thing that you just said with filming, you can say, "All right, cut. Let's do that again." When you're on stage, especially as a headliner, you're up there, man. Like there's
yeah,
no
because
cut.
they're like headliner. That's like the title.
Yeah.
You are
Come
the
on.
yeah,
Be funny.
you're
Good
expected
stuff,
to be
but
funny.
yeah.
yeah,
Better be good.
That's
And
right.
it was like, oh,
Yep.
brutal. I'm just sweating thinking about it right now. Move on, talk about something. So you've been doing the filming and for 7 years or so, and
Yeah.
do you
Yeah,
feel
roughly,
you're getting better with it? Do you got a big project you're working on?
You can look. Yeah, actually, I've got a couple, and I'm trying to do a couple different things. But like, you can definitely tell, like, if you look at the first stuff I put on YouTube
Right.
to the stuff that I put on there now is night and day difference. And the stuff
Right,
I've
it's a
learned
lot
just in the
cleaner.
last year is unbelievable, you know. And I've gotten better equipment over time, and
Yeah.
I've invested a lot.
And
Like,
the technical side is important.
I was gonna say,
your
that's
writing's
gotta
going to
be
naturally
expensive.
improve, just like in comedy. Your writing's going to improve
Yeah,
every
yeah,
year
yeah,
you do
yeah,
it.
yeah, because you get
But if
different
you got
tags.
junk equipment, you got, what do you got?
Right.
So that improves with time, and then knowing how to use it.
yeah, that's the big key. Learn how to use it. The editing is everything. Editing can make the worst thing look good, and it's unbelievable how that happens.
Right.
But
now, have you gotten editing down pretty good now?
Not as good as I want to, but I've got a pretty good handle on it. Like I'm confident enough that I can make a movie, which is what we're getting ready to start doing, and that it'll come out good enough that we can submit it and make something of it.
Right.
So I'm confident enough with that. And there's still stuff as I'm going, I'm sure I'm going to learn how to do, you know. So I'm excited to do it, especially now, because all the times before, when I thought I knew something, and I look back now, I'm like, what an idiot. You know, like now I actually know a little bit more. But I'm sure in a year I'll look back and be like, what's he talking about? You know, but, but that's how it goes. But yeah, so you asked me the stuff I got going on. I got a show that I'm doing on YouTube called Just Call Me Rance. It's a series I wrote. When I first wrote it like a dramedy, kind of serious and a comedy, and I wanted to try to sell the script. And I submitted it to Amazon Studios, and you can submit studios or short or scripts or short videos to them, and then they have the option to buy it. So I submitted it to them, and they rejected it. It was the longest one I've ever submitted that they held on to the longest. So the whole time I'm sitting there trying not to get excited, but every single day I'm going, this is it. They're going to buy it. This is my chance. And then I got the same rejection letter I got with the previous 3. I'd submitted them. And I mean, could you give me a little bit different letter? Like, hey, this one was a little better.
Like a little
keep trying.
letter.
Something, yeah.
They check their calendar and they're like, oh, we threw this away months ago. Oh my God, we need to send this guy a letter.
That's right. We forgot to send it to him. He was on my spam box. But
you were thinking, oh, they're holding on to it and reading it, and maybe they were, but maybe it's just like they don't care about you. They get to your $100,
right,
or whatever it costs. I don't even know what it costs.
So I submitted that and I got it back, and I really liked what I had written, and it was kind of like it was a story about a comic who gets divorced. And he's got kids, and he's not like a well-known comic, but he's done a little bit to get good work, you know, as a comic.
Right.
And it's kind of like his life. And so I was like, how can I film this and make this easy to film where I can film it in like a show every week? So I was like, you know what? Let's do like a fake reality show, kind of like The Office or Trailer Park Boys, where it's like a documentary film around.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, I love that show.
I just got into that last month and watched every single one of them.
And it's if you watch like their first ones, it's so low budget.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I go, we can be doing that. Like, why are we not doing that? Like, we have so much talent here in Dayton that we should have a show like that.
Right. That's all they did. They grabbed a couple of cameras,
a couple of their buddies, a couple of their cameras, and they filmed it
in the trailer park.
Yeah. So
genius.
I sent out on Facebook, asked some people if they'd be interested in acting, and I think everybody that responded ended up flaking out on me. Like, and you'll have that. Like, you know, the one thing you'll learn as filming low budget, especially in Dayton, is things are going to change. Like whether it's your location or it's the people you use, you got to be willing to be flexible. And especially with people have jobs here, it's not
they have life. And
they have a whole life, and they're doing you the favor. And I always look at that. Like at the end of the day, if it takes off, it's going to be a favor to all of us. But the odds are slim. So they're doing me the favor by
Mostly it's
by doing
sitting
it.
around, waiting, helping you move equipment when it's either too hot or too cold for whatever you're wearing.
That's right.
And it just drags on. It gets old unless you really enjoy it.
That's right. Yeah. And that's when the reward is when the project gets done, because they get to see themselves.
Right, you get to see the whole thing finished. Yeah.
So
I get a kick out of seeing that stuff. Even when I write things, and you know, I write a bit or I write a set or a joke, and just to go through it and it hits and nails, you know, it's very rewarding. So I feel where you're coming from.
Created. There was nothing, and then boom, there was something, and now I got a room of 150 people laughing and having a good time because of what I made.
Do you guys find that when you write something like that and then it's all done, do you ever sit back and go, how did I come up with that? Like I do that, like when I'm writing like a script or.
I'm a thick individual, man. I come up with.
Oh, I do too. And some twisted stuff that people go, where did you come up with that? I go, it just was there.
It popped in.
I don't know.
Uninvited popped in.
I mean,
like, there's a movie playing in my head, and I'm trying to write down what I'm imagining as quick as I can before I forget it, because it's not like coming from me. It's like pumped in there by some other thing. I'm like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. It's almost like somebody's telling you the story, and you're just
I'm like the weird guy's awake and he's talking.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the best way I can describe it.
I'm gonna go back to being normal and pay my bills, and I'm pretty boring.
Exactly.
Person, really.
I don't think everybody has that.
No,
really
they don't.
Like,
they teach you to crush it when you're young. Stop, stop your mind from wandering. Pay attention. Wake up. Stop doing. Pay attention to this. And then I think it's like the good kids in school seem to get good grades and be able to do that. And I was never on board with that. I was always struggling. I thought people were like, "Oh, you're so lucky. You do comedy. You have all sorts of fun stuff." I said, "Wait a minute. For the first 25 years of my life, it was shut up, pay attention, wake up, pull your head out of your, you know what." And I'm like, it was a struggle. I thought, man, I'm stupid. Like
you're programmed.
Yeah, I'm a dumb person. This is why I'm having so much trouble.
Right, because it's not the norm.
Because the boss is explaining how to do something, and it triggered something funny, and here comes the psycho that lives inside my head, and he starts telling me stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I should say this.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is when I write like a script or something, to me, it's almost as fun to read it after I wrote it, because it's almost like I'm reading a story. You know what I mean? A story that I created it, but I didn't know it was there. And then when I see it all come together, I'm like, that is awesome.
Right.
And like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm always like, man, where did that come from? It just amazes me.
Yeah.
And I know Stephen King's like that as a writer. Like he said that the story just gets told to him in his mind, and then he just puts it out. And it's kind of the same thing.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, I was talking to Travis about that. And I think that's where that's what they call creativity. It's like a part of you that's not awake every day. Now, if you said, let's have a writer's meeting, let's be funny, I don't know if I could or not.
Right.
Maybe I could.
I'm
you
not
said, okay,
that.
let's sit here and write jokes. Let's just sit here and write jokes for a half hour. I don't know. Like musicians talk about that all the time. Like they get a few hit songs and they go to Nashville and they say, okay, now we're going to have a writing session.
Right,
Like, what are you talking about? I'm thinking about my bills and stuff. I'm not thinking about...
Right, you're not in the right frame of mind. It just
Yeah.
doesn't pop up like... For some, it can't, like Chappelle. Chappelle could probably come in here and just probably do 2 hours just walking
stuff
through
off the top of
you know what I mean?
He's also done it a lot longer, but
Well, that probably will come with...
I think you cue things, like put that in the parking garage, and then you can reference it later when you're not nervous.
Right.
And you're like, I've got this.
And that's it. That's when you know,
Yeah, I always found that interesting, though. But so I'm doing Just Call Me Rance, and it's a fake reality show.
So that's your clip, though.
Oh, yeah. I did bring a clip with me if you want to show it.
No, I'm talking about your YouTube, for your...
Oh, yeah. The show's called Just Call Me Rance.
Right.
Yeah. And there's 7 episodes, maybe 8.
Okay.
I'm not real sure. But then the first one's a real short, like 3 minutes to kind of get everybody in it. And it starts off with Ranson in a hotel room. He's hit rock bottom, and his roommate, that's about to be his roommate, surprises him, and he shows up with the camera crew. And so that's where the first episode starts. So it starts with the closest I could compare it to is like The Office, where like The Office always started with the crazy boom, and then the music hits the doo-doo-doo. Like that's kind of the same way.
It's a great thing to watch to get an idea of where you're going to go.
Exactly. Yes, because it's edgy. It's very edgy. There's some cursing in it, and there's some.
So it's age restricted.
You don't want to watch it with your 4-year-old.
You don't want to watch it with your kids at all.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the kind of comedy I've always been, you know. And I try to do a little cleaner stuff, but with Just Call Me Rance, it's not been the case. It's been
well,
pretty
you're
edgy.
talking about that, just like your movie, and I think we have a clip on it. Why don't you tell us about that movie that you're...
Okay, yeah, so we called it the first season. We did like 6 or 7 episodes. Rance moves in with his roommate. He starts dating a girl from work. She's a little younger. He completely ruins it because he shouldn't be dating yet. He's a train wreck. He hits rock bottom. He gets kicked out of the house, which in the time being, his roommate becomes friends with the girl that he was dating. She moves into the house just as friends, but Ranson can't handle it, so he just leaves, and nobody knows where he's at. Well, they come to find out that all these horrible things were happening to him along the way, like his roommate's dad does a series of awful things to him. Like one time he wakes up in the middle of the night and he's urinating on him. But Ranson's embarrassed, so he doesn't tell anybody that.
Right.
So when they all find out is actually in this clip, and it's the start of the new season that we're filming right now, and this episode's pretty much wrapped up, and we're gonna probably release it within the next month, I'd say. So.
All right, well, let's take a second and let's take a look at the clip.
Check it out.
It's been an interesting couple of months. None of us have really talked to Ranson.
He either got fired or quit his job. I'm not sure. The rumor at work is that he got caught in his office with a hooker.
I was the last one to see him. But I did suggest to him that he should get arrested. That way he gets his 3 hots and a cot, man.
I felt like we were better off for a while, you know? Like, I don't know. I've never gone this long without talking. Erin's awesome. I mean, you know, for a while, like, I thought she got me like Rance did, you know? No. She can't even finish my sentences.
I started the rumor at work. But with the way he was acting, I wasn't surprised he got fired.
Living with a chick has its challenges, man, you know? It's like Rance never cared if I used the bathroom while he was in the shower. I don't understand what the problem is.
Oh, God. What are you doing?
What do you mean I'm going to the bathroom?
Get out! God. Ow!
Sorry again.
That's funny. I've lived that.
Using the bathroom.
When I remodel my bathroom, I put in this special valve so that when you flush the toilet, it doesn't scald you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work like it's supposed to. It's still.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
It doesn't torture you.
To go number 2 while you're in the shower for married, single.
Yeah, I don't know who does that.
I just
That's
like
love.
the added touch where he flushes and burns her again.
Yeah.
You already
Yeah.
made it smell in
Yeah,
here.
you already burned her nostrils.
Yeah.
That's just a little taste of what the humor on that show is going to be
Yeah.
like, and I think that's
Yeah,
a good,
let's get a little taste
intro.
of it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So now, when you gonna start filming that again, or you?
We're filming that right now. I'm not real sure how many we're going to go because I have this movie that I'm wanting to start on, and I'm really excited about the movie. I can't tell you a whole lot about that yet, but we're going to start filming it probably within the next month, maybe 2 months. So,
All right,
and
cool.
Brock's in it.
It's a funny script. I
Brock's
read
one of
it.
the only few people that's read the script, and he's
Today.
actually given me a lot of good,
It's a good script.
pointers on it. So.
Cool.
It's going to be funny.
All right, real quick, we got a few minutes left. You guys, you do a podcast.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. You guys work on together.
We have one other guy that does it with us, Dustin Horner. Real funny guy. Doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's usually well worth the price of admission.
He's the exclamation point.
Yeah, the podcast is
yeah.
called "You Talking to Me."
Yeah.
Is that right?
There's too many projects.
There's so many. I
Too many
know.
titles.
Yeah, you talking to me.
When he asked me, I panicked. I'm like, oh God. Say it, Ranson, because I can't remember which.
I know. I feel like that's not it, but I'm pretty sure that's
Talking to
it.
Me podcast.
You Talking to Me podcast. Yeah, it's on
Yeah, that's
iTunes. We need people to subscribe to it.
Okay.
Like
Subscribe,
it.
people. Subscribe.
Yeah.
When you subscribe, it helps our followers. So even if you don't hit it every week that it's on, it's still you're a subscriber, and that
Right.
helps our numbers. And it just makes people wake up and pay attention. Like iTunes will go, oh look, they've got X amount of followers. This
Right.
must be something to
Helps
that.
us climb the charts.
Nice. Okay, one more time. Say it again slower, and then we'll get out of here.
You Talking to Me podcast.
All right. There it is. You Talking to Me podcast. We're going to get out of here. My name is Keith Irvin, Mr. Brock Shank.
And Ranson Karr with
and
a K.
Ranson Karr with a K. RK King. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.